it says it's streaming.
There we go.
Okay. I got talking. Jacqueline and I were chatting.
My fault.
Okay.
We're live.
Are we live now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Positive. I see it on your page.
Cool.
Okay. And it's live on Facebook. There we go. Okay. Sorry, we got a late start there. Technical difficulties of the operator, actually operator difficulties, not technical difficulties.
You know, we can't keep using that. You know, we have to come up with, if I
Something
look
new.
back on some of the videos over the past several months, the due to technical difficulties is becoming a bit of a refrain.
It was
Just call it
operator
picnic.
error. It was operator error. I did admit that it was operator error.
Okay,
So we can call it picnic this time.
perfect,
Yes.
perfect.
What's picnic?
Problem in chair, not in computer.
Okay, fine.
I like that.
Fine.
I like that.
Fine.
Yes.
Problem in chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when my
I-
clients are calling and they're, I can't find it. I said, it's in your right. It's in the top right. No, it's not there. I said, your other top right. Oh, so
Yeah.
that's what they call a picnic issue.
Yes, I may need to R&D that.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome everyone to another edition of Wine and Whiskey Wednesdays. It is not wine for me tonight. It is, what you're looking at me, Steve, like, why is there not a glass of wine in my hand?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What
Is
the
that
heck is
tea?
going on?
Tea and Baileys.
Oh, I didn't have time to make tea.
Yeah, we opted for tea and Baileys. So welcome to another edition of Wine and Whiskey Wednesday with the hot ninjas. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You were going to say
I think we should have thrown this wine out.
why?
It doesn't taste right.
Oh,
Isn't that the bottle you just opened from your birthday?
Nope.
Oh, you finished
That's
that one already?
long gone. That's long gone.
I was getting, you said your birthday wasn't just a minute ago.
Every day is my birthday.
Well, then we went to the next.
Although I must say today was a really sad day
Why?
because I had to put my winter tires on my car. And whenever I put my winter tires on, that's always a sad day.
I did yesterday.
I'm doing mine when we get back from QB Connect because I don't have time to go. So I told Steve, I said, at least we have one car that has winter tires on it. And then that just means that Steve will have to let me drive his new car.
You haven't driven his new car yet?
I haven't.
No,
but that was,
but wait a sec.
that was
Wait a
because of
sec.
me.
Wait
That
a
was because
sec.
of me, not because of him. He keeps saying, drive my car. And I keep saying, no, I'm okay. So it's all me. It's not him. No,
Yeah,
absolutely. Even when we were in Europe, he said I could drive it. So, but I'm not a car junkie like Steve is. So to me, I like my car. I don't need to drive his car. Okay. So our topic tonight, well, Steve, it's your topic. So how about you introduce your topic? Since my topic got kiboshed, let's do your topic.
Oh, did you even have a topic? I'm not
You
sure
did.
you did.
I thought she did.
Okay. So we thought it might be fun or interesting, or perhaps even both, to talk about what do we do to motivate our team? And if we don't have a team, what do we do to keep ourselves motivated? And even if we have a team, what do we do to keep ourselves motivated so we can keep our team motivated? So it's like an all-encompassing, motivated, what the heck do we do?
Well, what I
So-
find interesting about that statement is that it's hard enough some days to keep yourself motivated. It really is. Like, you know, there are just days, and everybody has those days where you don't want to do anything. You don't feel like being at the office. You don't feel like
Put your
dealing
snow
with
tires on.
you don't feel like
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
but when you have a team, what I have realized is that my energy carries through to everybody else on the team. So if I'm not having a good day, it really does change the mood of the entire office. And that's a lot of pressure for one person. So I find it interesting, you know, when you said, Steve, motivating your team as well as motivating yourself. I think one of the biggest ones is keeping yourself motivated. And we're going to talk about how to do that so that your team does stay motivated, because they really do draw energy from you're setting that mood.
Absolutely. That is one of the joys of leadership.
Yeah. And that's fortunate or unfortunate, I'm not sure. Some days it's one and some days it's the other.
Yeah, but it is self-imposed, right? I mean, nobody made us have a team, right? Nobody made us start a business. So
I suppose.
sorry, you're not going to get any sympathy over here. Okay, I got my own crosses to bear over here.
Okay, so we have some people joining us, and make sure, so Bianca is here with us, Yelena and Allison. Hey, everyone. So feel free.
How come they don't join us here? Like,
That's a good question.
here?
I thought you called Bianca out a couple of
I
weeks ago.
think we did, but apparently it didn't make any difference.
No, you didn't motivate her enough.
I didn't.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is it going to take for us to motivate you guys to come on the Brady Bunch screen with us? Someone said that to me. They said that they
Brady
saw
Bunch
our,
screen?
you know, our Brady Bunch thing that we do is what they said, which I thought was kind of funny.
I have never heard it called that.
Wow.
Where have you been living under a rock?
Yeah.
Yes, it was quite a large rock too. I
Okay.
came out to change the tires on my car today.
Okay. All right. Suzanne is joining us. Oh, I thought I saw someone coming in and I thought it was one of the ladies that I just called out.
Suzanne.
So Bianca said it's because she's at work. That's why, because I guess she's in BC, right? So it's 5 o'clock there.
Oh, okay.
But it's now 5:07. So officially the workday is done, that you should be able to join us online.
This
Okay.
is very disappointing though. Why is no one wearing a Halloween costume?
Because tomorrow's Halloween.
Oh, that you're going to go with that?
Tomorrow's
Yep.
Halloween. Well, even you, when you came on and Jacqueline saw it, you had that ghosty thing going and you didn't fix, and you fixed it.
You told me to change it. You said fix that.
Oh, look. Allison is joining us online.
All right. And there's that Matthew guy.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matthew.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
And Allison. Okay, so
We are
okay, so we
wonderful.
have
Are you
motivated
staying
people.
safe, Matthew?
we have motivated people to join us. Okay, and there's Allison. And I think you guys actually need to turn your camera on in order to show up on the Zoom on Facebook, I believe.
Hey, Matthew, are those fires far enough away from you?
So I am safe. My friends are evacuated again. I've had my power at my house. Fortunately, I'm at the office, but the power at the house has gone out at least twice today where they shut it down. The winds have been just outrageous. So the fires are probably from here about 20 miles away, but what's crazy is just, it's been the number of fires. You can't almost help but feel like somebody's what's causing all this, right?
Sure.
And it's just any little tiny spark is the scary thing. Because if it happened in Ventura, man, I'd be out of here as quick as I could to get to my dogs, but
Yeah.
you just don't know. But I'm safe and thank you. So
Good. Well, stay safe.
So Linda, we can see that you're on screen, but you're not going to show up on the Zoom because your camera's not on. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not.
Not you, Linda, the other Linda.
Okay, good,
Not
because I can see myself.
Linda.
Right, sorry.
Juliet, can you please be more specific? You're
Sorry.
confusing everyone.
Oh, like I can see myself.
we could have had some fun with that for a while. But
Absolutely.
No, Linda, we
Absolutely.
can't see you. What are you talking about? Either Linda. There we go. There's Linda.
Hi,
There's both
Linda,
Linda.
with an I.
Hi there. Welcome. Okay,
Yeah.
and so Bianca said that she works till 7 p.m. on Wednesdays so that she can stop at 2 p.m. on Thursdays. So she is still at work. So that must be
Right.
motivating for her, right? So that's our topic tonight is what keeps you motivated? What keeps your team motivated on those days when you don't feel like being at work? You don't feel like doing stuff? What keeps you going?
I took a nap today. Does that count? I put my forehead on my desk and fell asleep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You earned it.
I'm just laughing because I was going to take a nap and I went, I'm motivated to join this session because of this. And then you change the topic. So now what do I do?
Naps are always rejuvenating.
Absolutely.
I forsook a nap for this. Now
Well,
make
we
it-
appreciate it. We appreciate it.
And I was on Facebook because I moved recently. And so I have to figure out the backdrop instead of you looking at I'm unpacking. I'm
you wanna-
still unpacking.
So you want a backdrop like the other Linda.
Yeah, I need
Linda with
something.
an eye. So
Anyway.
what is your backdrop? Is that an actual picture of some place that you've been?
No,
The baker.
Yes, Linda with
you
an
have
eye.
to pay attention. It's actually a picture of Bali.
Oh,
Oh.
My daughter's in the Navy.
Oh,
So she had a picture of it, so I stole it.
very nice.
pretty.
Very
So
nice.
that would be motivating. Okay, so let's
That's
start with
motivating.
what keeps you guys motivated.
Okay, I got a list.
You want to what keeps you motivated?
Well, not necessarily just me, but thoughts and ideas to help people stay motivated.
Okay.
Okay. Be constructive about your failures. Nothing is more demotivating than being highly critical of failures, particularly with yourself. Number 2, celebrate your wins and reflect on past success. We don't do that. Human beings are very good at beating themselves up, not so good at celebrating the good things they do.
And interestingly enough, before you go on to number 3, so let's.
How do you know
discuss
there's
the
a
ones
number
that you're
3?
supposed to- Because I think you said you had a list, and you never have a list of 2.
Okay.
So celebrating your wins, we actually introduced that into our team meeting. So we have a team meeting every Monday. And so we introduced that I found that our meetings were always starting out with challenges that everybody was having. And so needed it to be a little bit more positive spin. So we started out now that we go around and everyone has to list a win, something positive that's happened to them, either personally or professionally, it doesn't matter, with a client or not, over the last week. And it's actually interesting how difficult it is for people to think, even though they know that they're going to have to do it as we go around. It's interesting that they do struggle with it. So as you said, people have a hard time celebrating wins. That's true. Even when you should be.
Well, do you not remember when we first started with our coach?
Yeah.
Like
he
we
do
used
that
to
with us.
sit there literally for 2 or 3 minutes in complete silence trying to come up with one win. It
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you want to start? Let's start that here. Everyone.
But the
Everyone.
next week, did you get to use the fact you had a win on the next week as the win?
There's a
No.
good one.
No, that's just trying to scam us. That's not really a win.
Well, it's kind
let's
of
start with
like,
everyone who wants to start with a win from the last week that you've had.
well, I was going to say that it's kind of like being grateful for something. So if you start thinking each day of things that you're grateful for, then you start to recognize the wins, because a lot of times we just think some of the wins are just minor. So it's like, yeah, that really wasn't a win. That was just like, that's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So you don't really count it as something that you really, exceeded on. You might not recognize it as that. You might just think that it's just a normal kind of thing. And really it was a little bit more than what somebody else might have done. So I guess it's all in the way you look at it.
Yep.
So I'll go
Me-
first.
Okay.
My win is that I got all quarterly HST returns done without QBO crashing.
Yay.
Yay.
So that's a win for you and QBO.
And the
Exactly.
clients.
And the client. Well,
And
no,
the
me.
client,
I would have
yeah.
been personally responsible for all the penalties.
Ooh.
Okay.
There's a motivator.
We had a win. I think we broke the CPA Academy today. We had over 1,000 people. I don't know the total. I haven't got the information back on it, but we had a lot of people on the webinar today.
Nice.
We did it was really neat. Who knew people wanted to know about workers' compensation? I didn't think anybody would show up.
There you go.
They
And we
probably
had
said
over
if those two
1,000
do it, it'll be
people.
funny. Yeah, we had a lot.
Very nice. Good win. And so Matthew, that was Linda's. That doesn't get to be
Wait,
yours.
I'll let him have that one. My suitcase is under 50 pounds. That's my win for today. I packed and it's under 50 pounds. And I'm like, oh my God, I did it.
You're packed already?
I'm leaving
She-
tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh.
I haven't even thought about what I'm bringing.
But now ask her how many suitcases she's taking, because she could be talking about only one of them.
Two.
But
Two suitcases.
so
Two suitcases because I'm leaving tomorrow, and one is full of swag that I swiped from deeper weekend. So I'm bringing that out to California, and some other stuff. So stuff that we can hand out too. And I just had so much stuff, and I've got equipment now, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I would have to have a bag. Half my suitcase is shoes though.
Of course it is.
so my win for the day would be
You can have the whole week. You can have
the win for the whole week. Okay, for the win for the whole week was actually receiving the information from Intuit today. Like the whole thing that Intuit does for speakers it's really cool. And having it be the first year, like having them shoot over an itinerary and somebody that's going to pick me up at the airport. Like, I just wish I could have messed with my name. So when the guy's sitting there holding my name, it could have been something funny. That would have been great. But it's been phenomenal. I mean, I feel so fortunate for all that they've been doing as a speaker this year. So I'm
Cool.
feeling very good about it.
Very cool.
That's good.
Excellent. Who else?
I was just thinking that a win for many of us, if not everyone using QBO, is they restored the hamburger. I wrote in to QBO and said, the stack, close the left-hand menu column. They restored it.
Oh, did they bring it back?
They brought it back.
Very
It was
cool.
amazing. I realized when they did it, I logged in, I think it was yesterday or the day before. The first thing I do, I log in, I choose my company, I go to my first task and I close the left-hand menu. And when they took away the hamburger, it's amazing how much time that added to your day. So when it was restored, I went in and it was, wow, this is amazing. They actually heard us.
Very cool. So yeah, and we've actually seen that before, that if enough people give feedback on something, that they will change it. I remember they did that with one of the things that they did in the bank feed where I don't remember what it was now, but they did something that they thought would be faster for us. And it wasn't at all. It ended up being an extra click for us everywhere. And there was this, outcry, and within weeks it was changed. So it was cool. Excellent.
Something small but worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Jacqueline, do you have a win you'd like to share?
Not that I know of. It's been a heck of a week.
Okay, so how about that your car is working again?
Not yet. I still got to pour some more money into it.
Okay. There's got to
Moving
be
on.
something. There's got to be something that's happened in the last week for you.
Okay, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you here, okay?
All
Just
right.
got to go over what I did all week.
Okay. Suzanne, how about yourself?
Suzanne is muted.
Yes, I'm unmuting. I think, well, QuickBooks wise, I have had a number of my files that have come through with the bank feeds and the statements in there. Loving that.
Yes.
That's been really handy. And then today I went to a client's I had a meeting with their accountants and we met and then afterwards the client pulled me aside. They're like, we're just so glad you're on your team and we really appreciate having you here. And, we're now, because they're when I started, they pulled out the ledger books. Like it was literally one of those clients and she was retiring. She was the doctor's wife. And so there was the partnership. And it was like, so it's been a lot of transition the past few months. And it's just nice to hear when a client actually says that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Linda with an I.
Sorry, my dog was barking.
That's okay. Some that you'd like to share with us.
My win was just tonight. I got a new client caught up with all their bank reconciliations from January to present. So yes, I'm done.
Excellent. Excellent. Mr. Lotes, you're up.
Oh, my win would be that we went with my topic and not yours. Sorry, it's so recent that it was sort of top of mind.
It may also make you lose tonight, but it was
Yeah,
funny.
well, Matthew, it wouldn't be the first time.
Fine. Jacqueline?
Mine, I have a client that's on that ISN network or IS network. I don't know if you know anything about it's all these big companies and corporations use it now to sort through their subcontractors.
Okay.
And we had to go through an audit. And I spent many of the hours on that. And I was quite surprised that the auditor was very appreciative of what I did. Because I'm very everything has to have the T's crossed, the I's dotted, stuff like that. And I had pretty well everything in front of him that he didn't even have to go digging for stuff that he
Excellent.
needed.
That's awesome. So there you go. You got to win. Okay. And sorry, Steve, I've completely hijacked your list. I know you were only.
What's your win, Juliet?
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, that was good catch there, Tiffany. Good
She
catch.
tried to sneak
That
that
she
one
hijacked
by.
his list.
Yeah, that I hijacked his list and didn't even notice that I hijacked his list. I guess my win. So I'm doing a couple of sessions at QB Connect in San Jose next week, and one of them, which I've never done before, is I'm doing a panel. And we had our dry run this afternoon with all the panelists, and I'm quite excited about it. I think it's going to be a really great session. It's on e-commerce. And so I thought, so that was my win, that it's a great group of people that I'm with, and that it's going to be fun.
Cool.
All right,
The
Steve.
panels are going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, I think it will be. Absolutely. All right, Steve, number 3.
Oh, number 3.
We forgot his list.
Yeah, there we go. Motivate yourself. Number 3, get started. Not going to get motivated if you don't get started. Get accountability from someone else. That's always a good way to get yourself motivated, when you tell other people what you're going to do.
Thank you, Linda.
So we know that Matthew and Linda are accountability partners for each other.
Awesome.
How about anybody else? Anyone else have an accountability partner?
No, but I could use one. Other than this guy, he makes me accountable. He's always like, hey, it's dinner time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, it's time to take a break.
He's beautiful. Papillon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Butterfly ears.
Anyone else?
Yeah. He's the one that was barking.
How'd you know that, Linda?
Ah.
I thought you only knew alligators. I didn't know you knew dogs.
There's so many things you don't know about me.
There you go.
Had a Papillon before.
Oh, okay.
The great
How about
pet.
anybody else? Anyone else have an accountability partner?
No.
No? Okay. I'm not sure if I'm like my screen was frozen, so I'm not sure if the conversation is still continuing and I'm just talking to myself or not.
Yeah,
We
welcome
can hear
back,
you.
Julia.
We can hear you.
Okay.
You didn't miss anything.
Okay. All right. So no one else has an accountability partner. Anyone think that it would be helpful?
I do.
Yes.
I mean, I know there's mastermind groups that are out there. There's informal ones. You don't have to necessarily pay for a mastermind group. There are some that are paid. But even reaching out to someone, you know, that you have seen on Facebook that seems to be in a similar situation as you, that you think highly of, either you like their questions, their answers, that you think you can relate to them, reach out to them and see whether or not they'd be interested in being an accountability partner for you.
Yeah.
Certainly can help.
No, that's one thing coaches are great for.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Okay, Steve, keep on going.
Are you going
the
to
end of your
continue
list?
interrupting every 3 points? Because that way I can just
I
read
am.
3 and
I'm actually trying to stimulate conversation after every point.
so I should pause after each point?
Ideally, yes.
Okay, then I can do that. Okay, play music or speeches or whatever, something that gives you energy.
Agree, disagree? Anyone use that technique to keep themselves motivated?
I have music on all the time.
And is it fast music, slow music?
It depends. It's usually country music, but occasionally I'll put some classical music on when I don't want to hear any words, just some kind of, background noise kind of thing. And sometimes I've listened to Johnny Carson on Sirius XM. And while I'm doing stuff, kind of helps because then you laugh at what you just heard while you're working.
So Steve, do you mean play this music or stimulation while you're doing your bookkeeping or other work, or just in general?
Whenever you need it.
Because I can't think of anything I'd rather not do than play music or something while I'm actually working.
Yeah.
But if
But
you are
in other instances, it would be good.
If you are already motivated while you're working, you don't need to listen to the music.
Oh, he's got a catch-22 answer there.
Always does.
Yes, Steve has an answer for everything, always.
I do.
Hey, Brad has joined us as well.
I still do the audiobooks when I drive, and that's kind of because it helps, me think outside my own little zone.
Mhm.
And I will listen to music if I'm doing something that's kind of repetitive or setting up something that doesn't take a lot of, and it's kind of boring. And the music kind of gets you through it a little bit. So
Yeah, I use audiobooks actually, all this unpacking, which is partly culling. They really help because it's boring going through your dead papers from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
My daughter lives in a bachelor suite, and she said I wasn't allowed to have a 3-drawer filing cabinet, so I have to get rid of everything. But she's of the new generation, and I'm of the older generation.
Yes. It is a different mindset.
It is.
How about you, Jacqueline? Are you a music or motivational speaker?
I have to have it totally quiet. I can't work with stuff going around me. That seems to take my attention, or whatever you want to call it, away from whatever I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay.
It has to be. That's why I work mostly at night when everybody's sleeping.
Okay. But so I guess two parts to Steve's question then. One is music or motivational speeches, I guess was what it was. Either to keep you motivated or while you're working. I think that's two different things. So if you're having a day where you're not feeling motivated, does music help uplift you and get you going and get you moving and
Distracts me.
distract you? Okay. And Matthew, you're dancing. Does that mean you're listening to music? You're dancing in your chair?
I always hear beats in my head all the time. Seriously, I'm always hear like electronic music in my head, but I love having music, or actually I listen to YouTube a lot during the day. That's actually how I've learned most of my things, is I'll turn on YouTube, play some kind of a playlist and have that running. And then as soon as I hear something I need out of it, I'll stop, shift my focus and kind of pay attention for a little bit. But I like having the background noise and such going on. If it's too quiet, it actually distracts me if it's too quiet.
So it's not music playlists on YouTube. It's actual videos that are playing.
Yeah, it's videos. It's geeking out to Excel or other video stuff like that.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Next up on your list, Steve, do you still have a remaining list? Or
I
how many
do.
things you have on your list?
I do.
Okay.
Be kind to yourself when you stumble.
Interesting. Who agrees that's motivating?
It's I think it's just as important because the other is very demotivating, right?
Yep.
The
And
ultra.
being kind to yourself when you stumble is not the normal reaction of most people,
Good point.
right? It's usually, oh crap.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So this is we're on 6, Steve. This is a more nuanced form of 1. The avoid self-criticism when you make a mistake. Be kind to yourself when you stumble. So in the meditation world, they have mind like Teflon and mind like Velcro. So Velcro is the bad stuff.
Okay.
It sticks forever. The good things, the self-affirmations, that's the Teflon, mind like Teflon. They just slide right out.
Yep.
So aim for mind like Teflon. Remember those good things?
We'll have to remember those words.
Yeah, it's in the, if you look at the brain science teachings.
Yep. That's a good analogy, unless your Teflon brain is having all the important stuff fly out of your brain as well.
Well, we're thinking about this specifically in terms of, you know, the whole self-flagellation that comes with getting it wrong. That tends to live forever. It just is sticky.
Absolutely.
But even that sense of, you know, receiving a compliment is difficult. Like, who was it that just got the letter where the client or the comment from the client? Suzanne? Like, how long did you sit with that?
How long did I what? Sorry?
Sit with that energy. How long did you sit with it? How long did you let yourself sit with it?
Well, it helped that I needed to choose a win tonight. That made me revisit it a little faster.
Yeah, you brought, and then you shared it. You shared it.
Otherwise, I probably, oh, that's good. And then, you know, that's about it. Yeah. Definitely sit with it a whole lot less than some of those insults. I'm still disagreeing with the client, and that one's bugging me way more than the other one is.
So that's part of what they call the first dart and the second dart. The first dart is what happened, and the second dart is the internal rehashing.
Mm-hmm.
And if only woulda, coulda, shoulda. So anyway, go back to mind like Teflon, because that's part of be kind to yourself when you stumble.
Yep.
Oh, I like that.
Yep. I like that.
Okay,
Too.
Steve. Anything else on your list?
Yep. Never compare yourself to someone else. Compare yourself to yourself and see how far you have come. Always reminds me of that quote. I think it was Bill Gates. Don't compare yourself to someone else because you do a disservice to yourself.
And that one's tough, especially I think with the social media world, because you see what's going on.
The solution, you know the solution.
Yeah, just stay off Facebook. That's what Steve said.
And here we are.
Yes. But no, it's tough. And I think it's even tougher now in this with social media. You see what other people are doing. And it's natural to say, well, okay, well, I'm not doing as well as that person's doing, or I didn't think of that. So no, absolutely.
Tiffany and I have had quite a few conversations on this topic before, and how really, I mean, it really is our responsibility to try to be as genuine and authentic as we can right now, which means to express when you have hard times, in a sense, right? You don't have to get everybody all upset at the same time, but be genuine about it, because bottom line, it is hard work. It is a lot of work. And there are a lot of times that we all question ourselves. And if we don't share that too, it actually just makes it really hard. And people are just getting started who are really hard on themselves.
Yeah. Well, and that's very true. If you are in any of the groups and you're new to the industry and you're starting out, I mean, most of the stuff that are the conversations that are taking place, you don't have any idea what they're even talking about. And I can't imagine, you know, how demotivating that is. Absolutely.
On the other hand, just to stir the pot.
Please.
If you think about it, like I just finished, well, another one of my wins is I finished the first draft of the talk I have to give at the QBO Toronto.
Yes, hey, that's a win for you. That's a huge win.
Yes. See, I'm piling up wins as we go. But when I went through that talk, I had to one of the things is I revisited what my first Thrive conference was, and that was the first conference I've ever been to. And I was, and I put in there how much I thought I knew until I went and talked to other people, and how mind blowing it was, because I had compared myself to a standard and I was awesome in my little box until I got out of my, realized how much bigger everything else was and how much I didn't know. But because I learned a lot from that, and it really helped me push forward again, because I grown complacent. So without having, I'm not saying that I should everyone should, show only stars and glitter, but if you isolate yourself too much and you don't compare at all and you don't have a presence anywhere, then the industry changes or things shift, or there's tweaks and tricks and things that you're also depriving yourself of a lot too. So
it's very well said.
That's
See, so Steve, I can be on Facebook. Suzanne said I should be on Facebook.
Yeah, because Suzanne has such a massive social media presence. You should really take my word for it.
That's what I got from Suzanne. What Suzanne said is that
that's what I got.
Social Facebook is great, and you should spend a great deal of your time, and all of your employees, you should let them spend all of their day hanging around Facebook too. Definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Anyone else have any comments before Steve moves on? I'm assuming this list is really long, that he just keeps on going.
Real quickly, I find it absolutely hilarious that back in my day, we used to get in trouble for going on social media, like at work. And now I would just love to pay my employees to go on social media for me instead, right? Like how different the change can be over time.
Absolutely.
All right, Steve, you're up.
I'm up. Here's a fun one for everyone, I'm sure. Declutter your workspace.
Yeah, I'm screwed on that.
And I think that's different for different people. Because I used to find that when I had
keep holding on to that.
Desk, I'm sorry?
Nothing, I didn't say a word.
That when I had stuff on my desk, I felt better as opposed to not having stuff on my desk. I always felt like, that I had my life together because I had stuff on my desk. Wow. And when it's clean, then I never know what I'm supposed to do, because I feel like I have nothing to do because my desk is clean.
One of my tendencies, anytime I'm doing a webinar, I'm a creature of habit also, but I will always make sure my desk is completely cleared off 100% before I start doing a webinar. I always just have to come, set up, wipe everything down, because it just gives me the comfortable space to do what I got to do.
So would you say, Matthew, decluttering your desk motivates you to do a better job on your webinar?
No, because I just put it in a drawer and then I have to take it back out.
It's a temporary declutter.
Clearing of the
Put
mind.
it all in the storage when I come out to Ventura.
I finally got it cleared out from a year ago.
How about anyone else? Clutter, declutter, does it make a difference to you?
Well, I like declutter, which is why this unpacking is driving me nuts. So I guess one of my motivators is to get rid of it, because I work from home, and so I'm working in the middle of semi-chaos. We used to be really chaotic. It's coming down. But part of what I had to get rid of, I just moved after 35 years in a bungalow, are all those desk racks and sorters and copy holders and all those tools that we used. And the filing systems and the bring forward files that, you know, you stuff those papers into to get them off your desk. And then there's the confusion with moving into virtual filing. And my poor brain is confused. You know, sometimes just, you know, do I write my grocery list on a piece of paper, or do I tell Siri, or do I put it in notes on my, and it's like, where the hell is this stuff? You know? So I just think we're living in a very—
And that's actually a great example.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my brain is confused. So I don't honestly know. Obviously there's a huge workflow watering hole, the workflow, the tools, the apps for workflow. And I mean, I'm motivated to figure it out, but I sometimes think we get into overkill. And what are those basic systems we used to use, but now feel a little embarrassed to admit we do want to use them still?
We keep getting phone calls, like Mary will grab them. We'll get phone calls from companies that, hi, who handles your toner? Hi, who handles your scanning? And she's like, yeah, we don't use any of that stuff. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, we don't print any paper anymore. We're paperless. And it literally, like, she was giving us a hard time. She's like, I don't even think I know what your guys' handwriting looks like anymore. But yeah, it just kind of happened over time. I mean, we still have paper, but nowhere near as much. I didn't realize just how far we've gone the other direction. It's kind of cool.
I remember for every tax season, I would buy a case of paper. A case. I would easily go through 1.5 to 2 cases every tax season. And this year I bought 1 ream.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you give your clients their tax returns?
I have a digital filing cabinet that they have access to.
And then they grab it from there if they want to download
Yeah,
it.
there's some of them that still aren't that way. So I literally do the cover page and the summary and a 5-year comparison, and that's it. So they'll get 3 pages. But I mean, I have to print the one that they sign, right? Because CRA is still not up to date.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I remember, and this is probably going back, I don't know, 15 years. Yeah, probably 15 years, where when Steve still had his store and his accountant, who was like on the cutting edge, wasn't printing the tax returns anymore, and was giving him his tax returns and adjusting entries on everything on a CD. But what I thought was hilarious, that they bought this lovely cover, presentation cover, made out of really thick bond paper that they slid the CD into. It was still 8.5 by 11, but they slid the CD into and gave it to him. So I thought that was quite funny. If we're going paperless, here's this lovely paper cover to give you.
But then you have to put it somewhere.
See, that's another form of clutter I literally need to get rid of. I still have my DVD racks with over 400 DVDs that aren't even the ones I have on, like, I'm an electronic hoarder big time, terabyte drives of movies and all that stuff. And I just need to convert all of those DVDs and just get rid of them all.
Yeah, we have a ton of CDs. And just to let everybody know, if you're trying to get rid of CDs, nobody wants to buy them from you. Everyone said, you know, sell them on eBay and they're collector's items. Nobody wants to buy them from you.
Nobody wants them for free.
Nobody has a CD player anymore, probably, right?
Unless they're really rare here in Calgary. You know, Waste Management says put them in the garbage. But I do know that one of my daughters used them to you put hooks on the wall. They make great backdrops for the hooks. Just, the shiny side out. So wall art.
Wall art. Okay, there we go.
But you can only use so many. You can only use so many hooks on your walls backed by a CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have way more CDs than that, Juliet.
Yes, we do. We got a lot of walls.
I think it's a make work project. Just go to the dump. I mean, open the bin lid.
Yeah. Well, we brought the dump to our house yesterday.
Yeah. It was just, I couldn't even be home.
Good to know your limits.
1-800-GOT-JUNK. It's a wonderful, wonderful service.
I had twice. I didn't use them, but I had a company come twice over the summer because I just moved. Had a lot to get rid of, and it's very interesting. Just the whole emotional thing around giving stuff up.
Yep.
So if you get into this relation to the topic of motivation, sometimes we need to motivate ourselves to let go of things that no longer serve us. And what might that be?
Are you listening, Juliet?
Hey, I wasn't here. You had the truck come up. Our garage now will fit 2 cars in it.
It's amazing. You can
And it couldn't
have it
before.
But I have a question. How much of his stuff did he also release from the garage?
There wasn't a lot of his stuff in the garage.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, I am not I'm not a collector. I have a rule. If I haven't used it in the last year, I don't need it.
Yeah, and that's crazy. In the last year, that's crazy.
Hey, Juliet, can you make sure he doesn't drive his BMW for a year so I can get it?
top of the list.
Okay, keep on going, Steve. We got about 15 minutes left. How many things are left on your list?
We're on
Well,
9.
We're on 9?
30 I had 32 and we're up to.
We've done 8. We're on 9.
Okay, next, exercise and or meditate.
And
Well, I gotta go, guys. See you later. But
I have to tell you, Steve, that's 2 categories. That was 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Okay.
Okay, exercise
Could
and
it- Could it be 9A and 9B?
no, that's splitting hairs.
That's always been a problem for me, Alan.
That's it. I mean, you've split way too many. You just have none left, right? You remember exercise, you're exercising the physical body. Meditation, you're working with the mind. You have to divide that.
I find exercise does help my mind though. Like what, after I'm done exercise, my mind, like I think clearer, I think better. It might be a physical thing, but it definitely helps to be more focused.
And I do find, yeah, and absolutely, I find, so as many of you know, since I pretty much have said it every week, I had a pool this summer. Still have it, it's still open. I got 4 days left.
The hydro bills are getting scary.
Yeah. I got 4 days left. It's closing on Monday.
You heat with electricity?
I don't know what we heat with, but the hydro bill's getting crazy, so it's having something to do with
I
it.
think,
Yeah.
Maybe it's the
gas.
pool lights.
It
Maybe
should
it's
be
the pool
gas.
lights.
no, it's gas.
If it's not gas, you've got a problem, Steve, because electricity is way more expensive than gas for pools.
no.
Should be solar.
No, see,
Solar
we
doesn't
looked
heat
at
it up
solar.
fast enough.
There's not enough sun here.
Or we could move to Southern California and wouldn't need a freaking heated pool.
I know the fires do it for you.
That's a northern.
Anyways, my point was that I have found that I do my swim in the morning, that literally my brain gets cleared out of all the junk and I actually come up with great ideas. And I always come out of the pool and I say to Steve, I had an epiphany. How many times have I said that coming out of the pool in the mornings?
Were you talking to me when you said that?
Okay, I give up.
Does that mean next week we're not going to have it wine and whiskey?
Today. Okay. Is there anyone here that meditates? Is anyone a meditator?
I'm a meditator.
I'm an accidental one. Every once in a while I get on a tangent and I do it and then I just crap out every single time.
But she teaches yoga.
I can talk people into meditating. I just can't.
I'm probably a meditator wannabe.
Really well for a while.
Ever since I read that book, Badass, I think you recommended it, Juliet.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Then, and the way she describes meditating clicked with me. Okay, so you know it's like country music line dancing. You mock people, but then you actually start doing it, and then that's a lot of fun. And I'm like, I totally get that. So that actually got me to like, okay, I'll give it a go. And then it was pretty good, but I'm like that. I keep on falling out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the trick is learning the practice of using your life for your meditation practice, because people think you have to go off and gaze at the, go off to the hut in the wilderness at the foot of the Bodhi tree. But you don't. You actually just begin to learn how to see your life through a new lens.
Mm-hmm.
So even some of these irritations, it's like being able to take that step back and go, not to be caught up in the details, but then what is the emotion and the response and the feel, then the mind-body connection. How does this feel in the body? Where is this upset with this customer that's not getting me the stuff that I need? Where does that resonate in the body?
Your gut.
I got to figure out how to make it a competition, then I probably stick to it.
Mhm.
That's true, but that's a thought.
Yeah,
You learn to
Have
work.
a wine and whiskey
Yeah.
meditation hour. Is that what you're saying?
that would work.
Yeah. It's there's lots to learn.
I need that accountability partner to help me with the exercise part. I need somebody to knock on my door and say, okay, let's go. We're leaving right now.
That's what's good about going to the gym. You get a friend at the gym, and I know I had that when I was up at the gym in Rhode Island. And if one of us didn't show, the other person would be on the phone like, "Are you dead? Because you're not here, and you're really supposed to be here." And we just kept doing it, and it worked.
Yeah, well, I need somebody to come pick me up.
Oh no.
I'm thinking it's like the 6 a.m. phone call from your buddy, like it's time to, 1, get up, get started, and 2.
6 a.m. I'd be like, I'm not. And
Yeah, no.
Pick
See,
your time, but
that worked until I found this little button on the side here called silent mode.
no, I'm talking about,
And I resolved
yeah.
that problem.
So now you have do not disturb on your phone. Okay, well.
I have do not disturb. I'm tired of people calling me early in the morning. I'm sleeping. Do you know that?
You hit the snooze button, you go, I think I read somewhere that sleeping's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Or anything else.
Yep.
Reminds me of that Facebook string on Time Hero, and how, yes, you can have these tools, but ultimately you have to adhere to the program it's setting. You're setting up your program, but then you actually have to get out of bed and do it.
Now that's the one thing with exercise, right? No one can do it for you.
I wish I could. They're like CPE credits, right? Nobody can do them for you.
Very similar, Matthew.
Although your administrative assistant could.
Well, does anybody have a journal that helps them stick to things?
Sorry, Linda, did you say a journal?
Yeah, like they call them like the 5-minute journal, or a journal where you write down the night before what you're going to do. Or is that like a motivator? Any of those things?
Yeah, I do.
I haven't for a while. Jacqueline.
I do. I usually have about a half hour, what I call brain dump at night, that I just, what I need to do the next day, etc. Whatever, what was left to be done, etc. I do it about 5-10 minutes at the end of the day, just to dump everything out of my brain onto the paper.
Good idea.
That's
That
good.
helps you
That's what you're
sleep,
supposed
too.
to do.
It's good for sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were journaling for a while, Juliet.
I was using something called the Best Self Journal, which is it's a 13-week journal, but it's for goal setting more than anything else. That you sit down, you evaluate, you assess your quarter and what it is you want to achieve by the end of the quarter. And then every day you have to write down what the goals are that you want to achieve in the quarter. So you're repeating them every day. And then you have to list 3 things or 2 things that you're going to do that day that's going to help you get towards that goal. And then there's gratitude parts that, I'm grateful for this morning. And then you're supposed to do the I'm grateful for at night before you go to bed. And I did. I think I went through 3 or 4 journals, and I got out of it probably over the summer. I'm not sure but never went back to
I
it.
think it was when the pool opened.
Probably. I got everything I wanted. I didn't need anything else. There we go.
She obtained her goal, and that was it.
That was it. I'm done.
Need a new goal.
Yeah. My foundation. There's my new goal. Okay. Anything else on your list? We got 4 minutes, and I actually want to talk about what the schedule is going to look like for the next couple of weeks. So anything just mind-blowing on that list that you want to make sure we cover?
Number 10. Make it a good one.
One more. Number 10.
Number 10 was actually declutter your workspace. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through them. Okay, I can do them very quickly. This is more motivate your team. And this is share your vision, open communication, say thank you, support new ideas, encourage creativity, challenge them, professional development, give them opportunities to grow, empower and support them, don't let them get bored, celebrate success, create healthy competition, create a great working environment, team building activities, pay them what they're worth, foster collaboration within the team, don't punish failure. There are only successes and learnings, set clear goals and expectations, don't micromanage, and avoid useless meetings.
That was a lot. That was a lot in like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
I think you went 10 through 23, 24?
Somewhere, yeah.
32.
32.
Well, because Allison said I had to split exercise and meditate, there was actually 33, not 32.
Okay. 33. Okay. So we've got 2.5 minutes left. So I just want to talk about what's happening over the next couple of weeks. Many of you are going to be at QB Connect in San Jose. So we are going to try and do wine and whiskey live from San Jose, which I think should be kind of fun. Not sure where it is on Wednesday night, but because of the time difference, it's going to be 5 o'clock. So the parties won't have started yet, which we should be able to find a place to be able to do wine and whiskey. So we are looking to try and do it. If you are going to be there, we'll start a chat in the on the Kninja page and let everybody know where we're going to be. So you're welcome to either be in person with us. If you're going to be in San Jose, that'd be very cool.
Also, the time changes this coming weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to have Pacific Daylight Standard Time, not Pacific Daylight. So
it's
just
not a
check your
3 hour
calendar.
So it's not a 3-hour time difference?
It still is.
It
It
is?
still is, but just
Unless you live in Arizona.
Right.
or somewhere in
Or the
Saskatchewan.
Caribbean.
Anyway,
As long as it's still a 3-hour time difference, it's still going to be 5 o'clock there and 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm good.
Yes.
Because that's kind of how I put it into my calendar.
We get an extra hour's sleep.
Yes.
yeah.
That'll motivate us. Okay, so next week we're going to be live from San Jose. The week after, Steve and I are on vacation, and so there will be no wine and whiskey. So that's does anybody have a calendar? Is that the 14th?
The 12th.
13th.
13th.
I'm wrong.
So we'll be on a plane flying home on the 13th, so there won't be wine and whiskey on the 13th. And then the one after that, which is November the 20th, we have a special guest joining us. And not that all of you aren't special. We have a guest joining us. What? No. So Wine and Whiskey Wednesday on November the 20th is going to be Wine and Whiskey Wage Point Wednesday. And Shrad, who's the CEO of Wage Point, is going to be joining us. He has built a team of more than 50 employees, 100% remotely, and we get to pick his brain for an hour. So I think that's going to be really cool. So that's on November the 20th. We have about 22 seconds left.
Plus,
Anyone have any?
He might be able to answer some questions about payroll.
No, it's not a software questionnaire. It's building your team and building a remote team. So think about questions that you're going to want to ask him as to how to build remote teams. I certainly have. I'm going to put together a list. It's going to be awesome.
Will it be as long as my list?
Probably. It'll probably be more interesting than your list.
Oh, ouch.
Okay, so thank you all very much for joining us for another edition of Wine and Whiskey Wednesday. Cheers. Have a fabulous week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have
Thanks,
a great
everyone.
week, everyone.
Have a
Bye.
good week.
See you next week.
Happy Halloween.
Happy holidays.